you for being here on episode 3 of Paul's Palaver Paradise.
What does palaver mean?
Just nonsense talking, endless talking. I think it's Yiddish. I'm pretty sure it's Yiddish.
Great.
I'm pretty sure it's Yiddish. Only Austrian Jews can come up with a word like that, you know?
Nice. All right.
To describe other Austrians, most likely. So you're back. You're finally back.
Yeah. Yes.
You were in the States for a while. You visited a third world country.
I know. Yeah. So when the pandemic hit, I was working for Fulbright Austria, and then the State Department was like, everybody go home. Everyone in the world basically has to go home. And so Fulbright was like, this is like, you should do that. Or not Fulbright, actually. The State Department said, go home. Mm-hmm. Fulbright Austria said, well, you're welcome to stay and continue your job remotely. And so it was like half of us went home and half of us stayed in Austria. And I chose to go home. And then...
Smart.
Right. And then in July, when my Aufenthaltstitel expired, I had to reapply. I had to do a Verlängerung from being abroad. Yeah. Which was like that. It shouldn't have happened. Like Austria, shouldn't have allowed that. But because of Corona, they were allowing people to do this sort of bureaucratic stuff from abroad. Yeah.
Normally we are very strict with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the moment shit hits the fan, Austrian government gets very, very kind all of a sudden.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm in Denver, Colorado. Can I extend this as if I'm inside the country? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And so I had to I bought bullshit health insurance because I had to have health insurance for 3 months So I bought 3 months of traveler's health insurance. Yeah. And then I had to rent a place for 3 months or prove that I had a place rented, even though I wasn't here. Mm-hmm.
You had a ghost version of you living here.
Yes. And they knew that I wasn't here, but they were like, just check the box.
Just pretend
tell us that you're here.
I mean, it is the last 6-7 months was like a whole, it's fun as children. We play pretend, pretend whatever, pretend doctor, pretend nurse, pretend sex offender, in certain cases.
I'm so uncomfortable. They extended it, and then I was like, great, how do I get back in the country with the travel ban? Yeah. Because I had my Einreisbestätigung, which says we're reviewing your permit. You're allowed to be in the country, but that doesn't count as a border pass. And so I was like, how do I get in? MA35. And they were like, not our pony, not our rodeo. Really? Figure it out. They passed the buck. And I was like, okay, what do I do? And I went to the Denver honorary consulate, and they were like, oh, sorry, Corona, we can't help you. And I was like, everything else in Denver is functioning. And then so I emailed the LA embassy because they were the step up, and LA was like, yeah, they're probably just on vacation. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's amazing. Was it still in Denver during that time? It's probably the 2 nice months or something like that.
It was very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. They are just hiking probably,
or they just didn't care to come in and deal with.
That's honestly that would be my dream job as an Austrian. If I had to choose a place in the United States, it would be Denver.
It's great.
Because, first of all, yes, it's the closest thing you have to a European city. Because it has functioning public transport.
Not that, I mean, it's getting better.
Exactly.
It's getting better.
Which is...
But you can bike around.
Getting better is already... so much better than everything else. If you look at the trash fire that is LA public transport.
Hey, I love Los Angeles. It is my favorite city.
Really?
Yes, and the reason it doesn't have great transport is
because people keep... You are the person that likes Frank Sinatra's third best ode to an American city?
Oh my God. Los Angeles is my favorite city, and if I could live anywhere, I'd go back to LA.
LA's my lady.
I don't.
Worst Frank
as a
Sinatra
testament
song.
to how bad it is, I've never heard it before.
Don't. It ruins. It ruins Frank Sinatra for you.
Oh boy, yeah.
Because his other two, New York, and Chicago, My Kind of Town.
Oh yeah.
Those two are fucking brilliant songs. Hold up the testament of time. But LA is my lady.
Well, clearly no one in LA really cares about
how
it.
How is Los Angeles a lady? Los Angeles, if Los Angeles was a lady, it it would be one of those swamp monsters.
Oh my gosh.
What is it called? Gas station lizard? No, what a backyard lizard? No, what is it called? A prostitute that is frequenting truck stops. Truck stop lizard or something like that? I
don't know.
Yeah, I think that might be a Wisconsin thing.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love Los Angeles. And so I emailed the embassy there and I was like, what do I do? And the guy called me back and he was like, all right, we're going to give you a border pass for one flight, but you got to pick it up in person. And I was like, what? So
what is this? Around the world in 80 days? Like, yeah, you have to arrive by this time?
Yep. He was like, send us your flight information and we will attach an entry pass only to that one flight and you can't miss it.
The thing though is, this is the perfect setup because you are super white. This is the perfect setup for a dramatic movie made for TV starring, in 10 years, maybe like Sandra Bullock or somebody like that.
Love her.
Yeah. For Hallmark.
Oh, okay.
For the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
The dramatic turn of a woman trying to find her love outside her country, you know?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You write a B plot with your lover, obviously, because you need to have that in the Hallmark movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It can't be enough that a woman just wants to, achieve her dreams.
Return back to Europe.
It's Hallmark. Then
right.
There has to be a
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are we casting as the dude?
Oh,
who do you want?
I don't know.
Because Sandra Bullock, you immediately.
Sandra Bullock's gonna play me. Can Jennifer Lawrence play me?
Jennifer Lawrence might actually be cheaper than Bullock. So yeah.
I don't know. They're both. I don't know. Has Sandra Bullock? Yeah, she did win an Oscar. They're both Oscar winners.
Yes.
So.
And Bullock actually deserves that Oscar.
Hey, Jennifer Lawrence was amazing in Silver Linings Playbook. It's okay.
No. I don't want to dig that movie, but. Her performance wasn't the best thing in that movie.
Okay, do you want to know a secret? Deep cuts from my life.
Okay.
When my dad doesn't know what to watch on Netflix, he's gonna hate that I'm outing this. All the time. And whenever we're like
three
looking
people that are watching this are gonna really razz your dad now.
Right. So, but like we'll go through and be like, what do we want to watch? And it's usually a music documentary because that's what that's all we watched all summer was. I mean, I've never listened to a full album of the Grateful Dead, but I can tell you everything. But so. Whenever we're looking for stuff or when he's by himself, he listens to not really. Not that
extreme.
There's like an extremity and we're not there.
Yeah, okay.
He's like a
zombie head. Halfway there.
Sure. But he will go and watch the last 20 minutes of Silver Linings Playbook.
Okay.
And like over and over because he says it is the perfect 20 minutes of like a film. It's like a perfect like fairy tale ending of like they do the dancing and the guy has to get the girl.
It is classic Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's fair.
And he says it is, and my dad is extremely discerning and will not sit through. Like we tried to do Stranger Things and he was like, "It's predictable," and I was like, "It's amazing." He was like, "It's boring." So
really?
we did one season. He was like, "I don't need to see anymore."
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so but he will watch that last 20 minutes of Silver Linings Playbook over and over. So I love Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay,
and she can play me in this Hallmark movie about me trying to get back to Europe.
How much older is she than you?
I think we're the same age.
You're exactly the same age?
I don't know. Me and Taylor Swift are exactly the same age.
Huh? Swift?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
We are the same age. I don't know. I think, she's maybe like 2 years younger.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So didn't have to do like a digital CGI thing where they age her up?
Sure. Yeah, just 2 years. I don't know
they
how old she is.
cranked the volume for the filter from 0 to 1, just like
right, just 1 year older. Yeah. No, she's great.
Okay, no, but it's Hallmark. Maybe Jennifer. Again, I don't know pricing structures right now, but
well, no,
because Hollywood is like also on fire, obviously.
Yeah, although there's the things are in production and they have what's called like a COVID or Corona. Like person on set who does the temperature checks and who makes sure. I thought it was
literally a person that had COVID.
Oh my god!
They just have one, so that
have one there. And nobody touches them.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Like remind you of the severity.
Yeah, exactly. They have him in like a vacuum chamber or something.
He's our COVID guy. He's reminding us to take this seriously. That's gonna happen to you. No, but they do. So
and
production is happening.
They don't actually have COVID. It's just struggling actors that they hired because that's LA, you know.
Yeah.
They get $5.50 an hour.
Oh no, they would get $15 an hour. No.
That's $5.50 here.
Oh.
Right?
No, it's not. It's like
purchasing
11.
power in LA is insane. Like if you want to rent a property or something, it's so bad, right?
It's very hard. It's very hard to find housing in LA. There is a housing crisis. There's a lot of luxury.
For 30 years now?
Yeah, it's
since
gotten
the Prince
worse.
of Bel-Air, basically. I think that he was the reason. Will Smith really ruined the market.
Yeah, Will Smith ruined the market. No, they just need to start building more affordable housing and
but
more
there's no
units.
drive for that, right?
The problem is that the people who live there keep voting it down. So when LA was created, my mom grew up there in the 50s and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
It was a sleepy little beach town. She's from Santa Monica.
Right.
And it was you drive everywhere and there's these 18-unit bungalows. They're 2 to 3 levels. And that's what LA is. LA doesn't go up. LA goes sideways. And LA is not a city. LA is a collection of tiny cities. Like Glendale has a downtown. Pasadena has a downtown. Studio City and Universal City. It's like Santa Monica's its own thing. Venice Beach is its own thing. And then you have downtown LA and they have skyscrapers. But there's no, you can't legally build skyscrapers anywhere else because LA goes sideways. And so now you have this housing crisis where what do you need? Skyscrapers. And there was a massive
mid-level housing.
Yeah.
Like 12 to 20 stores.
Right. And so there was
thing.
this huge push in LA to say stop Manhattanwood. And it was don't turn LA into Manhattan. And the problem was that
that's so lazy.
Well, the problem was
so lazy, though.
There were these huge billboards, and they literally said, "Stop Manhattanwood, stop them from turning Hollywood into skyscraper zone." But what people don't realize is that LA can no longer sustain this 18-unit small bungalow way of living. It's not.
That's not how
they
you
can't
do
it
a
anymore.
That's not how you do a multi-million people city.
Yeah, there are more people in Los Angeles County than I think there's 11 million people in LA County.
That's that's Austria plus another Vienna.
Yeah. it's mass. And the economy of LA itself is like a national economy. California's economy is number 5 in the world.
Yeah, if you just pull it out on its own. Yeah.
But
is it sustainable though? That's the thing. So your struggles ended when you came back to Austria, right?
Yes, I came back and all of a sudden public transit was easy.
Everything
I had an
worked.
affordable apartment. Yeah.
The drinking water from the taps tasted
so good.
Like actual water.
Yes. Although Denver's water is pretty good.
Yeah, because you again have literally a mountain range with nice aquifers right next door.
Yeah.
That's the only. That's one of the reasons why I would move to Denver.
Yeah, Denver's good.
Yeah.
I went to Innsbruck for the first time 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it felt a lot like Denver. It was sporty people walking around to do sporty things.
Yeah, and conservative rich dudes.
Oh. Sure.
That go skiing and all that shit. That's Innsbruck.
There was
as
a
well.
lot of gear. Yeah, expensive.
We call the plane coming into Innsbruck Airport in the winter season. We call it the plaster bomber because it's all those unexperienced Russians and Americans and British people who are rich and come
I'm gonna ski.
Yeah, exactly. And then they break their foot. Or their leg or their arm, and then they get plaster on, and then they get chipped off again.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so we call those.
That's so funny.
The thing is, it's a thing that every economist has been yelling at Austria since the 80s was diversify beyond tourism, especially in regions where there's a lot of mountains. Now, they've done that to a certain degree, Red Bull and all that stuff.
Yeah, Red Bull. That blew my mind when I found out Red Bull was in Salzburg.
It's a giant-ass company from Austria. Yeah. That's Mateschitz. He's basically now slowly becoming our, I wouldn't say Coke brother, but Coke Light.
Right.
Coke Light? Coke Light.
No, they're Coke. The Koch brothers.
See, that's the thing it's Koch. It's a German name. It just means chef. That's a Koch.
This is true.
That's a Koch.
America ruins the pronunciation of all of the names.
Every time I hear somebody say Rothschild, I'm like, no, it's Rothschild. It's Red Shield, not Rothschild. It doesn't have anything to do with a child.
So the guy who did the FBI investigation into Trump is Mueller. And you have the Mueller report.
Mueller.
And I kept, and I moved here right as that was happening, and I kept thinking like, oh, the Mueller report. It's like,
like the dessert manufacturer here.
No.
I mean, he is pretty sweet.
All right, but they called. I mean, like in the U.S., he's Mueller.
Yeah. But that's okay because us, as, and ers. I get why they're hard to pronounce for somebody outside.
They don't exist. Do you know how, like, I sat in German pronunciation class in, like, grad school.
Yeah.
And we were like, like, trying to do, like, the umlaut for the O and the umlaut for the U. With the, and I was like, and we're sitting there and I'm like, I'm 27.
That's torture.
What are we doing? Like, come on.
Did they pull out the sharp S as well?
Oh, yeah. Scharfes S, yeah.
Everybody. I love, too, that Google turn-by-turn directions, the English language package, doesn't recognize the sharp S as a sharp S, but rather as a B. So it always says Strabe instead of Straße.
I believe that, yeah. Yes, it's very frustrating. The sharp is that,
they're minor downturns for living in a functioning society, right?
It is very nice to be back. It's very easy to live here. I like food is affordable and transportation is affordable.
Yeah,
and housing is affordable. And like it's like if you have those three things, everything else just
and
like,
when
the
you have
stress
kids,
level goes
it's
down.
education.
Yeah,
but education only gets decent in. I wouldn't even say university anymore. It depends on which university you go to in Austria, obviously. But they're all basically free, so who cares?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, like, living here and being like, oh, when these things are taken care of, like, when you don't stress about this, like, there's, like, room for innovation in other spaces, which I think a lot of Americans sort of struggle with, like you need to be innovative from the beginning, and if everything's a struggle, that's okay, because you chose to, like, move to LA.
You were Sisyphus who did it.
Right.
You actually pushed the boulder up and it didn't go down anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's frustrating because I think there's a lot of space for innovation in Europe that people don't appreciate because they assume like, oh, it's socialist, it's like everything's given to people and they're lazy. It's like, oh no, when my grocery bill is €30 for a week, like as opposed to like $75.
I mean, that's also very frugal shopping.
Right. Yeah. But like even living in LA and like meal prepping and living on a lot of rice, it was like I could do a week for like $75 to $80, which was very good.
You can do really nice living here for 80.
Yeah. But it's like once that
you can have larks every second day.
Yeah, which is salmon, which is delicious.
Dude, the larks is a thing in the US.
Yes, but you would have to say... Oh,
it's an East Coast thing.
Well, you have to say bagel and lox, and then people go, oh, it's salmon. But like you can't just say lox because people will be... I
feel like that's anti-Semitic.
There's a bagel shop here now.
Yeah.
A brand new bagel shop that opened.
We got...
Is it good?
I heard from the reviews that it's obviously not like prime time.
Like a Brooklyn bagel.
Yeah, it's not prime time Brooklyn bagel. Obviously, I had those when I was in New York.
Yeah.
Those they just blew me up. I mean, I had to pay like what $16 for a fucking bagel with schmear and lox.
Wine.
But it was the fucking best bagel of my life.
Yes. Yeah.
But what I heard is they're really decent. They keep the original recipe, like doing the proper dough and everything. Nice. So yeah, they're doing the best. I'm excited I'm not eating bread. I've gone a week and a half without having any bread. Oh, okay.
But I do want to try the bagel shop and judge it. Just put on
how much of a live wire are you right now when you walk past a bakery shop?
Actually, after 4 days, I didn't care anymore. So right now, I don't crave bread. It's like if I can get over the hump of like wanting the sugar and like the quick like energy of the bread.
Like Kaiser Semmel,
oh my God. But now it's like I looked at him, I did a Klapfen or whatever, and which is like basically a jelly donut, and I was like, oh, I don't want you right now, and I was very proud of myself.
That's amazing. Yeah. Cheers to you.
Thank you. It took a while because I spent the summer not being very healthy and very good to my body, so I'm very pleased that I can finally get.
You also have the best excuse.
I know.
Yeah. So
So when your mother passes away in the middle of a pandemic,
easy drop, for the listeners, like, hey, by the way, guys,
you have permission to just sort of like eat like shit for a while. But it was very hard because she was in hospice, so it was like having to find food to feed her because like when she was not hungry because she was on so many pain medications, and then also feeding my dad, and then my brother was working from his apartment, so he just sort of moved home, so we were like feeding 4 people, and it like it was just
the Tostitos come out real fast.
Yeah, a lot of Dove chocolates in our house this summer.
Yeah, that's comfort food. No, I totally get that. Like I ate my feelings for a while too when things weren't going that well.
And it's hard because I like the gym. Like I like weightlifting. That's sort of my preferred method of staying in shape and of sort of like getting an endorphin rush. And of course couldn't go to the gym this summer. And even when the gym was open and they were doing sort of like, you have to wear a mask, you have to sign in. I know, but it was like my mom is literally dying. Like I'm not gonna jeopardize this or like speed that up by like putting her at the risk for COVID.
Oh, first of all, that yes, obviously, but also you get the call while you're in the gym, like crawling.
I know, yeah.
That would be horrible, right? Like that is the worst thing ever. Like your chat, who was like, "Yeah, my mom died."
Sorry, my mom.
I was cranking out a baller set right now. Like, I was crawling like 20s.
Throwing shit. I would have just like taken whatever I was holding and just like chucked it. No, I was driving actually when I found out that she passed away.
Oh, that's also not great.
I was in Pueblo, Colorado, at a gas station, standing in line at a Subway. On my way to Santa Fe, New
Subway
Mexico.
sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh no.
In the U.S., it's great.
Yeah, no. But still, to get that call at a Subway sandwich.
Oh, I know.
It taints Subway for forever, right?
Well, I hadn't actually ordered anything, so it's fine. But
when you had the taste in your mouth while you got the call, you're I'm done with Subway forever.
Never again. No more tuna. No, but I was driving to New Mexico.
Tuna really bad surprise.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, but so I'm standing in line and then my brother calls me. He didn't say anything. He just sort of like heaved. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
And I had driven 2 hours and I got back in 1 hour.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But it was also probably the safest driving I've ever done in my life because I had no music on and it was like 10 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, I'm going to get home. And I was like uber aware of like everything all the time. I was like, is there a policeman?
And also it's Colorado, right?
True.
So
yeah.
You're going to hit a deer.
No, yeah.
That's the craziest
middle of the
thing,
day
right?
on like a Thursday. It was pretty easy.
Yeah, there's nothing going on there, right?
Or Friday.
Did you blast through a red light?
No, I did not. But I was on the freeway the whole time, so there's no.
Oh yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But I did like go like 85 to 90.
On a 60?
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
But I got home.
No, because the moment the police pulls you over, you're gonna start the rain works.
Yeah, well, I'm literally just going to look at them and be like, hi, my mom passed away. You need to give me an escort.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you are, again, the whitest lady ever.
Which doesn't mean anything in Colorado.
No, but it still gives you, like, there's a certain way police talks to you.
I acknowledge my privilege.
Yeah, because the same happens to me too. Like, when I was in New York the first time, we went downtown and just walked around, and there was like a super cliche police officer, like the typical like, I want to have power because I'm a tiny man, because he was exactly my size, like I
which in New York stands out. Here you blend in.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm like, okay, he's like 170, 175. 160 kilograms. Jesus Christ. No, 160 pounds. I don't
know what any of this means.
80 kilograms, something like that. Like an average police officer dude.
Yeah.
Maybe 25. Maybe 25,
Great.
Yeah. Like, and he was like writing tickets and checking like the parking meters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like busy work. Mm-hmm. And his like name was like Krakowski or something like that,
A good Polish family.
Yeah. And I just could walk up to him and be like, "Hey, man, I'm a tourist. I love New York. I love lying at that point. I love the American police force. Mm-hmm. Can I take a picture with you?"
Oh, I bet he was flattered.
And he's like, "Yes, of course." Like, and then I'm like standing next to him. And while my friend starts to take the picture, I'm like, no gang signs, right? And he looked at me like, you're white, so I'm not doing anything right now. But don't say that again. And he's like, no. But that's like the privilege that we can feel, you know, immediately. And I try to exploit it for good as much as possible, obviously.
Yeah. It's very like I get to move through spaces very easily. And I remember I was here doing a Goethe Institute course, and there was a African American girl from New York. And we were treated very differently at the McDonald's. Like we went to in Schwarzenbergerplatz.
Oh no. Okay.
And like I got like immediate attention, and then they kind of like she had to like wait and wait and wait, and it was fascinating because even in the US I'd never seen like overt ignoring of a black person in an establishment. Like I know it happens. Yeah. I hadn't seen, but I was like, it was very.
Also, McDonald's in the US is like their whole marketing gag since the 80s was that they cater to black families as the cheap restaurant alternative.
There was
so that's the whole gig
in the 1980s,
there anyways.
There was a very specific advertising.
Yeah.
They did specific advertising to the black community.
Yeah. So and that didn't happen here, obviously.
No.
Yeah. No. But yes, I can. I had one black dude in my class for a while. Same thing. Yeah. It's just. But the thing is, it's very rarely. It's like aggressive. It's all passive aggressive here.
Yeah.
Like except if you're the police, because they like literally killed black dudes before here too.
Wow.
Yeah. Like in 2003 or something like that, like 5 cops stood on a black guy and like literally stood on him.
Wow.
Until he couldn't, like the whole don't breathe thing. We did it before you guys. Every time we do a fascism, America is like, that sounds like a great idea.
When you do a fascism. Wow. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's
beyond frustrating. Because literally now, they are talking about in the Ministry of Interior Affairs, which is in charge of the police in Austria. Now they are talking about and preparing, not passed or anything, of instituting a board where police officers can basically like say that other police officers are racist or whatever.
Wow.
And
so like internal investigation?
Affairs,
that didn't exist?
No.
Wow.
No, because up to this point, every time, again, a police officer did a fascism, they just made him disappear for 3-4 years if it was really bad.
Yeah.
And then they reinstituted him later.
Wow. Oh my God. Well, the review system in the United States.
Or put him into another like district or something like that. It's like we like the cup game. We do that with molesters and police officers. That's what we do here. You know,
Great.
We're just where is he? Where's the molester? Where's the molester? Where's the molester?
Come to Austria. So safe. No,
that is true though. Still, like,
yeah.
We're insanely safe, but then we ignore stuff like that. We're like, hey, maybe we should like look into that stuff.
Yeah.
Police brutality is still a thing, even we're, I think, the 2nd or 3rd safest nation in the world.
I believe it, but I wasn't here at the time, had the biggest Black Lives Matter march in Europe.
Yeah. But that's also because it's Vienna.
Yeah.
It really helps. It's such a still disparity between Vienna and countryside Austria.
What do you think is the biggest, like, why is Vienna so different from the rest of Austria?
Because Austria lucks into everything good. We are just incredibly, like, you would say blessed.
Yeah.
You know, we are, God smiles upon us in such an unfair amount that it's infuriating to me. So, for example, we don't have nuclear power because our most beloved chancellor at that point put his chancellorship onto, like, he wanted to make Austria energy independent. The big thing back then was nuclear power. Bad play. We don't have fission material in Austria.
Yeah.
That's not how you get independent, by just replacing oil with that, you know?
Yeah.
But that was his idea, and he was like, if you vote against this, like he did a ask the public thingy. What is it called?
Town hall?
No, like if you do it for the whole nation. Like a ballot where you have one question. You don't have it in the US.
We don't.
But you can ask in Austria.
Oh, like a special election?
Yeah, but basically, but it's one topic.
Okay.
It's just about one topic. And this topic was, should Austria be nuclear power free or not? Or what is it called? A proliferated nation.
Right.
Yeah. Should we be that or not? And people hated him just enough at that point. And the Green movement just enough edged in there enough that enough people voted that he went out, which was the sad part. But on the other part, we are now a nuclear-free nation forever. Because because if you ask the populace, it's automatically in the highest rank in our constitution.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So only a 75% majority in the parliament can, or even higher, I think, can change that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and good luck finding a 75% majority in Austria.
Yeah.
That's what a multi-party system is for, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was like a crazy lucky thing, just pure happenstance. And Vienna is the most emblematic of that, especially now. Because in 1850 to 1880, industrialization finally kicked off in Central Europe. And Vienna was just a hub because of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire.
Yeah.
Everything was here. We were a super centralized monarchy. We did basically the Parisian model of everything has to go through us.
Yeah. And that was also like that, like the Franz Josef, when did he start building all the things, all the beautiful things?
I mean, that was around that time.
Yeah.
That's where they started tearing down everything old and just replacing it with new historianism buildings, new Gothic, new.
Well, they built an opera, so.
Yeah, no. Again, super lucky because all that shit we could afford because we were such a giant nation. Well, multi-nation empire.
Yeah.
We had like 16, 20, 23 different languages that each law had to be translated.
Wow.
So that people in the rural areas could understand the laws of the Austrian state, Austrian-Hungarian empire. And for example, the whole water thing was because diphtheria and all that shit was rampant. So they had to build something to get a steady water supply because the Danube at that point was so poisonous that if you fell into the Danube right behind Vienna, you died.
Ooh.
Just from infections.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So that's how we get Wiener Wasser, which is like the jewel of Vienna.
Yes, because we built everything overkill. because at around 1910, Vienna had 2.2 million people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Crazy. It was one of the biggest cities in Europe. I think London and Paris were bigger. Berlin was around the same level, I think, at that point. Yeah. And then just smaller cities.
Wow.
In Moscow, maybe. But who cares? You're already the biggest nation in the world. Who cares? Yeah. Ooh, you have a multi-million
person city.
Whoop-de-fucking-do. No, but
yeah,
it's all fueled by alcoholism anyways.
Probably.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we lucked into all that stuff, and after the First and Second World War, Vienna was severely depopulated because we shrunk immensely in size, and we had an oversized city. But now it's really good for a nation, especially a developed nation, to have a major city that is a hub. We already have all the housing that we need.
Yeah.
Well, now it turns slightly bad. Like the last 10, 20 years, it started to turn slightly bad because the socialists stopped doing outright public housing, but rather public housing that is semi-owned by like a private company. So it's still affordable, but not as affordable as it used to be.
Wow.
And now they're starting again with building real public housing.
Yeah,
again.
it's like every office building, every building with stores in it, it's housing on top. It's all like
but that's government mandated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, everything else would be insane. The problem is that a lot of housing developers now just use loopholes where they're like, oh, we're putting 2 levels of affordable in it. And then on top of that, we put 2 penthouses.
Luxury housing.
That we are selling for million plus euros.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And that sucks even in my district, which is traditionally a workers, men, women's district.
Yeah.
Really working class. Even here, like around the corner, we have now developments where it's like $1 million for a penthouse. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That surprises me.
No, because all the Russian money because we have such a stable housing market for such a long time.
Yeah.
It's just such a safe investment. When my mom bought this apartment back in the 90s, it was nothing. It was like,
oh my gosh.
I think if you like calculate in inflation and everything, maybe 120 grand.
Wow. So are you telling me that your mom pays for your housing?
Basically, yeah. Basically.
You are so Austrian.
I mean, but also my grandfather paid half for it back when they moved in here.
Right.
So
that's the most Austrian
it's just my grandfather as a farmer worked his ass off his whole life so that his kids could have a better life.
Great.
That's how it should be.
Paul, what have you done with that?
This has been it. Thanks, Steph.
I just want to keep a little perspective here.
All by myself. All right, let's talk a little bit about comedy because this is after all a comedy interview show, talk show.
I liked the history though. I appreciate that. I'm always fascinated to hear
learn a little bit more.
Yeah, and also hear about it from the perspective of someone who is not from my same experience. So that, I do like that. But yes,
somebody with brown eyes.
I didn't say it.
You're a classically trained musician, basically.
Yes, I'm a soprano.
Your favorite choice of instrument is your vocal voice.
The vocal chord.
Yes, this is
here, and they go shloop, shloop, shloop.
Yeah.
Yes. So I classically trained opera singer, soprano.
Right.
My last.
Hey, I want some gabagool over here.
I don't know.
Sopranos.
Oh. That's the worst joke. You can't make that joke around opera people. It's too easy. It's too obvious.
Sorry.
So I
guess I get disappeared into the Brooklyn River now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We don't need that. But yeah, so I sing a lot of Wagner. I had a contract this summer to sing Freya in Das Rheingold, and that got canceled. So it'll be next summer. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Refreya.
I'll
in
refreya.
them guys. Steph refried.
Yes. Yes. Hopefully it will happen.
Next year definitely.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
No. Again, the one thing that I believe in is that humans are capable of incredible things under immense pressure, and that's especially true for scientists.
Yeah. This is true. This is like...
The way they cranked out the Apollo program, for example, is still mind-blowing to me. Like, for example, like, I think it was, like, women who did that because they had, like, stitching skills.
Those ones.
No, it's just fascinating. The computer, like, the computer that drives the Apollo rockets was, like, hand-programmed because you had to, like, the bits were literal magnets.
Oh, my gosh.
Physical magnets that you had to, like, weave into, like, a copper grid or something like that. And it was, like, 250,000 and you had to do, like, 12. And then you had one computer and you needed 3.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think it was really women that did that. And it's just, again, history just like, hey, women did programming. No, whatever. Like that disappearing thing that rewriting of...
Rewrite it, write them out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But
this is true. Like there couldn't be a bigger fire under the ass of every person working on a vaccine right now.
Yeah. Right.
So that's, I guess we can take comfort in that.
Mm-hmm. So I'm very, very, very confident that by the end of the year, start of next year, we're gonna have a vaccine. Until then, it's gonna be dog shit though, because we
just trying to figure like
we live now in a society. We live in a society. No, we are now in a place where the frustration sometimes, even with reasonable people, reaches a threshold where they become irresponsible.
Yeah. People are getting very, very frustrated. In my career, as a singer, there's everybody in the US, everybody's either doing a small scale. I know. Everybody's either doing like small scale stuff or online stuff.
Right.
And it's just so disappointing. Like, it's not, the Met canceled their entire season, which I think was a dumb move because there's so many ways they could have innovated, like every other, like a lot of American opera companies innovated and figured out how do we do distance? How do we do something online? How do we do found spaces? But
it's summer, let's do it outdoors.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Well, a lot of people have lost a lot of gigs, and it's very, very frustrating. And so it's frustrating for me because when people don't wear masks and they're like, by the way, I feel comfortable with this because you got a test very recently. And so when
we are here at Paul's Palaver Paradise, we take safety seriously. That's why you also have the distance.
Well, and also you literally had a test 4 days ago, which that makes me feel very safe.
Yeah.
But the frustrating thing for me is in Denver, people who were like, I don't want to wear a mask. I don't want to distance. I don't care. And it was you are keeping my industry from coming back. Your actions perpetuate this virus. And now, and the longer you refuse to wear a mask, the longer I don't go to work.
How funny is it that Steve Aoki basically is responsible for you not having a job right now because all those teenagers in the clubs are like, woo!
Yeah, no, don't have time for it.
Opera. At least there's no reason why you can't space out. There's no reason.
Yeah.
It is a definitely a live performance of opera is definitely better. I've seen so many operas already live compared to the recordings where I'm like, especially Wagner. Just Wagner, live Wagner
I tried to watch Tristan and Isolde.
It's hard. It's hard. Yeah.
You gotta see that shit live.
Yeah. So the thing is, with opera, it's definitely a live medium more than a broadcast medium.
Also, you can't hear the overtones. You can't get overtones. The whole point of what I'm what I do when I go on stage is I'm creating this overtone sequence that will go over the instruments, and then that you can hear it far away, and you're hearing it on multiple levels, and it's hitting your eardrums in a bunch of different ways.
I mean, you can recreate that, but you need $1 million studio,
right? Exactly,
and then €20,000 worth of audio equipment,
right? So if I'm sitting trying to watch a broadcast, even from Berlin, it's still I'm going to hear the center of the pitch, and it's going to be on pitch, and it's going to be lovely, but I'm not going to hear the overtone series that the soprano's actually making, because it's the audio equipment is not picking it up, and it's not giving it to me, and it's just that extra little oomph is lost. And it's so frustrating.
The magic of life,
Yes, it's very frustrating.
Yeah,
but we'll get a vaccine.
So yes, first of all, that definitely there's no way around it.
Yeah.
Basically, and
there
are capable people doing capable things.
Yep.
No, I don't know. It's frustrating sometimes how science bashing has been also a part of comedy.
It's very du jour, yeah.
Especially in comedy, with the whole, because comedy should always, in my opinion, should always be at least attempt to be cerebral. Even if you're doing dumb stuff like Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler still did a juxtaposition. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
That was smart.
Or when you just do puns
Happy Gilmore, for example.
When you just do puns for 3 minutes.
I am very much self-aware. I'm very much self-aware about that.
Yeah.
It's not I'm those are not dog shit, Well, some of them are actually kind of cute, I can't. My love for puns is it's a family disease. my dad was a hardcore punner back in his days. He's still doing it. He's still attempting it. He even sometimes now tries to do an English speaking pun once in a while with me. And it's very cute. You know, like it's like baby's first pun, you know?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Wait, what were you saying about? Oh, comedy needs to have like sort of an awareness of the reality that we live in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And every time it's like, oh, scientists have studied this weird thing, and why would we spend money on this? And that's exactly the point. Scientists are just like comedians. You let them try shit out.
I love that. The scientists and the comedians, just let them try shit out.
We are the same.
Just let them do it. Yeah.
No, we are the same.
Yeah,
we are the same.
I like that.
We sit there. Everybody thinks we're lazy assholes because we are sitting there for 6, 8, 12 hours doing nothing. Yeah. You know? And then we come up with maybe a 5-minute bit. Maybe.
Right.
You know?
And like scientists, we have to experiment. Like I can sit at home with my notebook all I want and then like say my perfect set.
You have to test it out in the field.
Yeah, and then the minute I put it up in front of people, it's like, oh, like that's great, that's awful. And like I have to completely rework my set based on the reactions that I'm getting, which is I never thought we're just very intelligent.
I mean the good ones. In my mind, the good ones. The good ones. Like, I think Larry the Cable Guy, for example, fucking genius.
Yeah. Well, if he finds his thing and then if you find your lane and your lane is successful.
If you know that you become a 3-digit millionaire with your bit, do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe do something productive then afterwards, create something with that money, you know, actual art.
Altruism. Yeah. Just a little bit.
Maybe don't go full Larry the Cable Guy. Where you just pump out one horror movie after another. Larry the Cable Guy in Sweaty Bottom Dump Sisters. I don't know. Something Southern culture.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Air quotes around everything here, please.
America. Yeah. No, I do think that a lot of comedy is sort of figuring out like how you be funny, and it usually has to do with how you be funny.
Is that the first masterclass you're doing?
Yes, how you be funny.
With Steph Deprez.
Yep.
He on masterclass.
Yeah, how you be funny.
Chapter 1.
Yes. But it's like, and it has
to
do
be funny all time.
Yes, be funny all time. But it's like, it has to do with the way that you look. It has to do with the way that you talk and your cadence.
Yep.
And the way that you like present in front of an audience. And you have to be aware of your body. And you have to be aware of when you walk up, do you look like a business person? Do you look like a punk? Do you look like a what
message are you want to convey the moment you step on stage?
Like when you always do comedy in a what looks like a suit jacket. And that's sort of like, you're like the buttoned up Austrian, and then you go and like make these puns, and it's like you have, like you and Roland is kind of similar. Like he's like, I am the Austrian guy who has a day job. Yeah. And then you go up and then you make jokes from that point of view. And I go up and I'm very much like, I'm from California. And I'm also very tall.
Oh, yes. You're very Cali. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks. But that's, and I know that, and you have to lean into the whatever you can tell about yourself. And this is in one of the acting classes that I did in LA, everybody had to go around and tell in this group what they thought of them. Like, so if you had a 22-year-old skinny girl from Oklahoma, people would be like, you are super, super skinny. You look like you just got off the bus. You look like you would be really easy, like if a guy was dating you. And it was just sort of like people would, and it was like,
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Right. But you had to tell people how they appeared just based on what they looked like when they walked into the room, because that helped them build their sort of acting, like, how do I want to present myself? Right. So it's like, if someone looks at me and goes like, you're really tall, you obviously come off as like confident. You're kind of like buxom the way you're built. Like, and if I tried to like play against those things, I probably would be not as successful. So instead, I wear boots that make me even higher. I get my hair blonded. I always wear red lipstick when I'm performing, and it's like, I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna lean into that as my thing. And it's a very conscious choice. And I think a lot of comedians, when they're starting out, don't necessarily like
take all of that into
yeah,
account.
You need to have someone get a read on you and be like, what do you look like? Because you either have to change it or make it an asset.
Yeah.
Because it will be there.
I mean, I consciously in the last few months, since lockdown ended, I tried to be more légère with my clothing choices. And so far the response has been pretty good because I guess it's also because stress and everything made my hair fall out even at a more rapid rate.
Yeah.
Like I'm maybe a year now. Yeah, we're a year away from bald Paul.
Oh no.
Probably.
But you're not.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. The thing is, it's so thin. It's so thin, and especially in the summer, it blondes too, and then it's just see-through. And I don't want to be that dude, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be Phil Collins.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the try hard. I'm trying to stick to my youth. You know, I got a good 15 years of excellent hair. I had 15 years of excellent hair from 10 to 25.
So now you're gonna like lean into like bald Paul.
Probably, yeah. It's sadly
there's a lane there.
Or at least, you know, super hardcore like 2 millimeter buzz cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you can pull that off.
Yeah, and maybe a beard. Maybe I start with the beard.
Yeah,
again.
do that. Yeah.
Okay, Steph, it has been a pleasure having you here.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut this off so quickly.
That's fine.
I'm happy to
I will
come
have
back
you
again
on
sometime. Yeah.
Yes, there's not that many men that are funny right now here in Vienna.
We got to change that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're doing doing literally 300% better now than a year ago.
Yeah.
Because it's you, Aishlin, and then you chuck in the rest of them and make one good comedian out of that. No, they all just need stage time. That's all they need.
And I haven't seen a lot of women going up recently. I did see there were 3 or 4 women on the last mic that I was in, which was good. Yeah. And
we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Yeah, and we're not going to lose you because you actually want to talk on stage, not just sing. Right?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
I would like to do both.
Obviously. I mean, your first comedy special on Netflix is going to be both, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm writing it
this
year.
You're going to do some Wagner jokes, right?
Yes, I'm doing them tomorrow night.
What's the deal with this Siegfried?
Yeah. What is the one? Siglinde?
His name is Winning and Peace. That
is a very German joke. Okay, I have to go.
All right, guys, this has been episode 3 of Paul's Palaver Paradise. Please follow everything Steph has put into the description and what she's pitching right now.
Yeah. At Steph.Deprez, Deprez. Also, you can look me up, stephaniedepre.com. It's my opera website, but there's also comedy info there.
Right on. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Have fun with the rest of your day.
Thanks.
And we'll see each other next week when I will upload somebody else's cool interview, hopefully.
Very cool.
All right. Bye.